Here we go. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, where you come to wise up on crypto and just in time. Welcome to our old friend. What's going on, Dev? Hey, hold on. Your audio's not coming through.
All right.
No, it is. It is. No, you know what?
Your volume is down?
My computer volume was all the way down. As always, hey, it's good to see you, man. What's going on, brother?
You guys, nothing. Just
let me get off this
busy.
screen. Bless. All right. Your audio's not coming through. There we go. Now we're good.
So how you been? What's going on?
Well, I moved to Colorado a few days ago.
What?
Congrats.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So if I was happen to be traveling through sometime, I should look you up and. Dang, man! Congratulations, dude. That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Might go skiing on Wednesday. It's snowing still, so.
Man, good for you, dude. Good for you. Well, you know what? You've been working your butt off. So, that's one of the things. I was just talking to someone about how, the meek shall inherit the earth and what crypto has done for so many people around the world. It's liberated so many people to removing themselves from what when I was growing up was I heard called the rat race of life, trying to just barely stay afloat. And, we're at a unique point in time where those who are promoting education and new technologies to fill the gap and to just displace, replace, be there as an alternative to fiat currency and what we see happening with the printing presses around the world. So this is it's just great to see that you're out there because you know what? You can choose your own surroundings and that's what it's all about, So that I'm happy to hear. And I'm also happy to see all the hard work that you and Peter and everyone's been doing. Just like, man, it's just why? I mean,
Wise Token is so much to.
Yeah, there's
development going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on. I mean, I what you're doing has inspired me, and I've got other inspiration going on as well because I'm really trying to be able to devote more time to cryptocurrency education as Ryan and I are hashing out the rest of our website. So we want to be able to consult. We want to be able to offer consulting to people and education because there's a lot of people out there right now they're awake now. They see this market cap and they're like, whoa, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, Cardano, Dogecoin, XR, Polkadot. What is all this stuff? And some of us are aware of what some of this stuff is, and we can help walk people through the difference between the different cryptos. And the best way to educate is to be a part. Like, have you ever tried to play poker without having anything in? It doesn't work. You cannot play poker without having any skin in the game.
You need something in it.
You have to have something in it to play poker. So if you're going to learn and educate yourself in crypto, learning staking, learning how to, manage your private keys, how to send, how to receive with the QR codes and, all just the basic stuff, then, you got to get out of the sidelines and just, hey, get involved, get your first email address, get your first cell phone and jump in because that's all this is,
So tell us about what's going on in the Wise Land. What are you working on?
We had a lot. I mean, since the last time I talked to you guys, it was probably before the Binance Smart Chain sale, correct?
Yes, or right at the beginning, maybe. I don't remember, but probably before.
I
hear it's going great.
Right before, yeah. And I don't know if you guys caught the live stream. We did a live stream that night when the final hour was upon us. It was fun, and we're sitting there, and we had programmed. I didn't. Aaron and Vitaly and Renee had programmed this 10-minute safety, where if people move more than $6,000, 10 BNB worth into the contract at the last minute, it would extend by 10 minutes so that their money wasn't lost, like in limbo, because we were expecting millions of dollars to come in at the end, right? So that would have been catastrophic. But what ended up happening is every 10 minutes, it somehow filled up that 10 BNB came in. And so we were there. We were supposed to end at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It ended at like 5:30 in the morning Eastern time.
Wow.
We live streamed the whole thing.
Wow.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I'm
I need
gonna
to go
watch
back
it.
Check that.
It's like 11 hours, guys. Please.
No, I'll get to some of it.
We'll put it on 1.5.
I always go to 1.5 or 2, so it's really just like it's a good work day.
It'll just be 5 hours.
You know, I'll skim through it, but no, that's awesome, man. That's another successful launch. Well, what I've been kind of on the sidelines just because of my time in other areas of my life before I can get back into full crypto. But I've been keeping abreast in what I have seen going on, not just Binance Smart Chain, Harmony One, QuickSwap-Matic. I mean, hey, has anyone seen what's been doing really well against the Polygon Matic? Has just been gone.
Fantastic.
While everything else has been correcting hard, Polygon Matic has just been, the layer 2 solution on Ethereum has just been rocking it. So, Binance as well has just been rocking it. Harmony One has just been.
All the layer 2s.
They've all have just been very, very successful in tier 1. I would put them in tier 1 for cryptos. So when you're looking at that right now, for smart contract platforms and the Wise having the team stuck around and being built bridges and tokens on each of these chains that in many ways interoperate and support each other, and the marketing that this has been able to generate and the rewards, what's blown my mind. I haven't had the time, but I'm just like, man, I've talked to Cam and other guys who've just been able to get involved, and Jacob was on the stream last week and he's gotten involved. And I'm like, I know that if I had time like before, I'd be able to take advantage of some of these opportunities. But what I love is that there are still, Wise happens to be one of the most dynamic ecosystems, still providing liquidity provision opportunities and tokens and the relative dexes. And plus with Binance, the rewards that are going on through that and staking with the BNB airdrops, is that right?
So if you participate in the pre-sale and stake for a year or more, obviously the amount depends and the duration depends, but you get a cut of $100,000 worth of BNB being airdropped on June 11th, and then it doesn't matter if you participate in the pre-sale or not. Every week after that, $25,000 is being airdropped and split between anyone who staked for more than a year.
Nice.
And BNB, not Wise,
right.
Anything else,
yeah.
Right.
Right. That's awesome. That's what I love about how Wise is bridging different cryptocurrency communities. That's the whole point. It's that it's a whole diverse DeFi ecosystem in and of itself, with what can be done with Binance, with what can be done with Harmony One.
I don't know if you guys heard this morning, we announced our integration with Chainlink for our lending and borrowing contract.
Nice.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, it was pretty fun day. I was wearing my Chainlink shirt.
I was just talking about I was just talking because I was kind of doing a little education, crypto consulting, and someone was saying, well, if you have a diversified portfolio, because I'm all about diverse. I'm not a maximalist. I'm all about looking at the different techs, and I always say, well, Wise exposure. Obviously, there you've got an Ethereum bond where you can earn interest, and it's a diverse ecosystem with lending and borrowing. There's so many things coming with, but beyond that, I look at Cardano, I look at Polkadot, I look at Chainlink. Link has to be in that tier 1 blue chip category. If there were blue chips in crypto,
oh yes,
Chainlink would be another one. And it's like I see more YouTubers now starting to do videos on Wise, and Ryan and I, our background is in economics, and so we like to just talk about the education side of things, but however, we're seeing how Wise is finally being, we all knew it wouldn't be able to be ignored. Eventually, with the locked liquidity, with the tokenomics, with the ethical and equitable design, it was just a matter of time. But what no one could have predicted, and I'm just like, I told you, hopefully the next month or two, I'm going to get back on these videos more regularly as we finish up some stuff. But there's so much to do on Wise. I'm excited to do a bunch of videos on Wise because, when you want to talk about all the different cryptocurrencies out there and what you can do, and there's things you can do with Aave, and there's things you can do on different platforms. However, Wise, what you can do, it's so unique, and how you can do so much with it.
The ownerless liquidity is what stands out to me.
I was on Clubhouse the other day, and there was this There's a guy, and it was just right before our pre-sale ended. I went on, did a huge room. We had like something like 4,700 people in there. It was crazy. And so I'm answering these questions. One guy, he's like, I just don't understand. You couldn't have burnt the keys to that much Ethereum. And I'm like, no, we did. He's like, I know you didn't. And I'm like, dude, it's provable. Like, go check this out.
Yeah.
And I had a former SEC attorney there in the room back me up. She's like, I just read all their stuff and this is how it works and it's awesome. I'm like, yes.
Right. It's like, no, it's not too good to be true.
In fact, because of that base, that decentralized ethical base of locked liquidity on a DEX, there's so much that can be built off of it in the future. It will continue to stand out as a protocol that can be connected to and that can be used for a lot of purposes, whether it be for charity, mutual aid groups like we like to talk about. So, I mean, I and of course, all of us who are members of the WISE community, we have plans to use it for charity and mutual aid groups and using it to get involved. So, it's just exciting. It's like people haven't even seen the community's there's been a huge community involvement, obviously support the team, but there's been so much driven by Peter and you guys and the developers still, that it's like you still haven't had time for the relative communities to kind of like, okay, now let's take what we have grown from all this work that they've done, and now let's start using it for point of sale transactions or exchanges or gifts or yada yada yada, building out like other people do applications that help track and monitor and do fun stuff to help add value to the community. Like the more you build the community on these different chains, the more exposure and the more value added comes from the community members, because crypto's all community driven. So like what a blessing it is to be a member of that wise owl, that wise old so send always, I know you talked to Peter and we're trying to get our ducks in a row before we get him out on a stream with us but send him our love, and we're just so glad to see what you guys are doing, Deb. Man, thanks so much, brother.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for being a part of the community and actually contributing to a huge extent to our community. You guys you kill it.
Thank you.
Well, it's all about education, and Wise Token is definitely stands out as a pioneer in what it is. It's unique. So, I mean, you make it easy. We just talk about the tokenomics.
I know it's
speaking of.
I know it's kind of shifting gears, but we have to talk about the dip, the crypto dip, right?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the crypto dip. That's actually the title. So, and Elon Musk. Now, we've actually talked about Elon Musk in the past a couple times. So, my deal is that I've started to hear other YouTubers talk about it now, and I think that this is kind of a long time coming. Eventually, if you continue to say silly things that are contradictory, people are going to eventually start questioning what your knowledge base really is. Yeah. And I actually don't think that Elon Musk is powerful and is controlling as much of the market as people are actually giving him credit for. I think it's more correlation and happening to be coordinated at certain times, that things are happening worldwide and on a different level. I mean, I'm going to say it again. I don't think that Elon Musk acts for himself. I don't believe for 1 second that he makes all these decisions for this huge corporation that is heavily subsidized and run by many, many people. I don't believe that he just wakes up and
let's just presume it is him, because we don't. But it could be any. Regardless of that, he's definitely moving the market with his tweets. Because I mean, that's kind of what pushed things today. What was it earlier today when he said, when there was a response to a question about how somebody on Twitter said, I don't think it'd be a surprise if we found out in a few weeks that Tesla sold all their Bitcoin, considering all the hate that Elon's getting, right? And then the response from his account was indeed.
One word.
One word. So it's like, and then the markets just went, of course. So I do feel like there's, whether or not that's being pushed down from a board member or a higher group, or if that's just if it's just his views, regardless, it's moving markets, and it shouldn't, because people shouldn't put that much faith into what one person says, right?
But I think about it, and I know he makes mistakes too. He's right. He's a human.
Yeah.
But he also has he has a lot of incentives to find some kind of like I assume like a tax loophole or something like that, and maybe that's what he's doing here. Maybe it's
Well,
hey,
I think I could shine some light on that. I found an article. You can pull it up, Lucas.
The banking system?
No, the one about. Oh, here, I'll give you the. Is
it this one?
This test? Yeah, it's right there. So there's a new renewable fuel credit market being created in the Biden administration, and apparently there's a bunch of subsidies, tax subsidies, that are available to companies that meet certain standards. Tesla is applying to get into that club to get access to those subsidies, and the thinking is that perhaps the the pollution, the energy usage surrounding Bitcoin would be a strike against them, and we might keep them from entering into this coveted class of protected or subsidized companies. So it's a conspiracy theory to an extent, but there is some logic to it.
For sure. And there's obviously a great argument of Tesla probably uses just as much energy as Bitcoin, or that the U.S. dollar uses tenfold more energy than Bitcoin. But
we had that. We're going to come up to that in a minute.
Yeah, in fact, and that's my point, is that
the energy article.
Elon Musk is just a man. And at the end of the day, if you really look at his life, he can't possibly know that much about what people believe he does. It's like people have idolized this man as thinking he just knows about how to go to Mars and go to the moon and solar energy and renewable. He's Tesla
and flamethrowers. Don't forget, he knows flamethrowers.
And flamethrowers and internet currency. It's like, wait a minute. He was,
And when he was challenged on his expertise about money, his comment was, well, I started PayPal, so I might know something about money.
But
the funny thing was he was fired from PayPal because he was so bad at his job.
Yeah. And
so it's like, well, maybe don't lean on that.
And Tesla, the company, was bankrupt that he came into and bought it out, and comes from money. So his whole life is basically going from one company to another that's handed to him, and he's just a figurehead. And so, but he's really quirky, and he's good at like acting and sounding, whatever. He doesn't really say anything of substance. I don't ever listen to anything of substance that.
Well, facts are funny. Right?
Facts are funny. So let's go
to the part about the banking system.
So here we go. Now, Ryan and I are going to get into this a little bit more than what the article talks about, because we want to take a little. The economics is about the unseen. It's about the hidden costs, and a lot of what this article talks about is what people see, the seen costs.
The cost, yeah.
But there's a lot of what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency offers that displaces industries that are unseen, that have real value to save and efficiency to bring to the world, that often go unaccounted for. So we're going to talk about that with this article, and really expose, as many people have already, that this whole Bitcoin, this narrative that Bitcoin is somehow energy draining. It's like, hold on.
It's actually the green solution.
It's the green solution in reality. And time out. Tesla, here's the irony. Elon Musk company, the batteries, the whole thing is so heavily subsidized. It is not energy efficient. It literally requires grants and money and tax breaks from taxpayers in order for it to exist. People don't understand.
And the rare earth mining is apparently incredibly destructive.
People don't get that the price you're paying for a Tesla car is actually because tax dollars have already discounted that for you. It's like, reality is everyone should be getting a Tesla car in their driveway because
they already bought it.
Their tax dollars. And by the way, Elon Musk is buying Bitcoin with your tax dollars. How do you feel about that, America? How do you feel?
Well, but let's go to this energy topic.
So,
that was the big criticism. Remember, this what started this whole thing off, was that Elon Musk bumped into somebody at a cocktail after hours meeting, and they must have told him that, hey, Bitcoin uses a lot of energy, that's a problem, and he just ran with it without looking at the facts of like, okay, well, relative to what, right? Yeah, maybe it does use a lot of energy, just like a Tesla costs a lot, but what's the alternative? That's the important thing.
At the same time, the geography matters. Like, yeah, sure, it's Bitcoin's energy consuming, but not next to a hydroelectric dam. Sort of like Teslas are great in a city, but in rural Virginia, it's probably diesel or fossil fuels that you use to get that electricity.
Yeah, it'd be more efficient.
Yeah, and the reality is the most efficient production of electricity still to date doesn't come
Fossil
from wind,
fuels.
and doesn't come from solar panels that are just the devastation they do to birds and animals and other things going on that's not talked about all over the
Or
Midwest.
the batteries that it requires
And
to make that happen.
the batteries, the minerals. So the reality is that it's not as efficient as people like to sell it. It's just that it looks cleaner. But back when we we're getting our boring economics degree, there was a class actually focused on energy economics. One of the first things you learn is that, well, electricity, actually is fossil fuel that's burnt by big generators, and it's sent through lines. So when you're plugging in your Tesla and you're charging your battery and you're driving around, say, look how green I am because it's driven by a battery. It's like you're burning more fossil fuel than it would if you just had a gas car. It's just not being burnt in front of you. It's being burnt at a generator in some community, in some coal plant around some homes in some community that can't afford,
Unless you had the cash to put in the Tesla battery and the Tesla panels and go all that. You could do that.
Well, with all those subsidies.
But then you're back to mining rare earths, right?
Sure.
So look at this.
So this article talks about banking system. The banking system as we know it to date consumes 2 times more energy than Bitcoin. So here's the research to date. That you look at mining gold, the energy it took to mine gold, you look at the energy it takes to mine Bitcoin, and then you look at the energy it takes for the banking system, the top 100.
But nobody ever says, hey, don't open that JP Morgan account. It's not green. There's no much energy involved.
Right.
Or, hey, don't buy that gold watch.
Or don't buy that Tesla stock.
Right.
From one of these financial intermediaries, because you know how much energy these financial intermediaries consume on a daily basis. Oh my gosh, the buildings, the electricity.
So I guess my takeaway here is that this concern about energy usage is more like it's selective outrage. It's like, well, you're outraged about that, but you're only in terms of Bitcoin, right? The outrage just is non-existent in these other domains, right? So it must not be the energy usage that's the problem. That's just an excuse, or that's just a cover story, or that's just maybe the narrative that people are going off of. But it can't be the problem, because you compare it to these other things and there's crickets. No one says a word. So there's got to be. I'm thinking, well, it's something else. And what is that something else, right? Creative destruction, the loss of income that these financial firms and the Wall Street banks and the legacy systems are going to experience.
And that's what no one's talking about. And that's the reality. And when you weigh that energy, this dwarfs. Like, this banking system's only talking about card networks, ATMs, bank branches, top 100 bank data centers.
Probably the central banks in there too somewhere.
But they're literally not talking about all of those financial intermediaries. How about counterfeiting? Do you know that counterfeiting, the amount of energy that's dedicated to prevent counterfeiting, to fight, or the amount of value that's lost to people through counterfeit to what they hold? So, counterfeiting's eradicated completely. That bar chart right here, add that to the list, and we can go down other industries. I'm sure economists will eventually get around to doing it. You go through other industries and look at the amount of energy they consume right now with jobs, people working there, the buildings, the staff, the fuel that it takes to drive the car for the average person to fulfill these tasks, these jobs. There's an amount of energy consumed every day by all of it. That's the reality. And when you really weigh all that, that's the pink elephant in the room that's not being Bitcoin. This technology of cryptocurrency so far it supersedes anything that the legacy institutions, that current technology has to offer.
Well, my point is, look at the trend. If you're looking at the chart, it's down, right? You got banking system, then gold's a little lower than that, and then you got Bitcoin, which is like half, right? So if you're drawing a trend line, you got to be happy. It's like things are improving, right? Maybe when we move to a purely when Bitcoin's completely mined and we're just having to update the ledger with for transaction fees, then the energy usage of Bitcoin will probably go down even more, right? And then obviously, I would say this is cause for optimism.
And look, it even says right here, the banking industry does not directly report electricity consumption data. So the reality is that these numbers
could be understated.
They're telling you that there's a lot of energy that we're using that we're not even calculating and adding to the mix here.
Hey, Jacob wants to hop on.
I know. Okay.
You want me to send them a link?
Can you?
I can. Isn't it? Yeah. Keep going. I'll work in the background.
I don't know because I never sent you one.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
No, but hold on a second. This is good. This might.
Here, I can do it.
Down to the rescue, brother.
Well, hey, in the meantime, while you're doing that, let's chat about this article here about central bank digital currencies and how Fitch. I don't know if you guys if anybody is not knowing who Fitch is, but they're a ratings agency. They're a number. There's a number of these companies, but Fitch is one of the bigger ones, and they rate bonds and stocks and different investments, so you can know what the risks are and kind of what you're getting into. So they're definitely they're in the legacy financial system, and they're somebody who would know. They're insiders. They would know. They would have a good window into these things. So that their view of the imminent or close near term adoption of central bank digital currencies is that this could be very disruptive to the financial systems, and that's kind of the they say financial system, but what it really ought to read is legacy financial companies, really, because it's not. That's really the point here. But this first little section captures it. It says here that Fitch releases a report stating that central bank digital currencies may be disruptive and could result in disintermediation between deposits and the banking system, adding to credit strains and pushing up interest rates. So the idea here is that if you could take your bank deposit and seamlessly convert it to a digital currency, that would pull that money or that liquidity out of the banking system or of that bank, meaning they would have less access to funds to make their loans with. Their balance sheet would shrink, which would push up the interest rates that in that ecosystem, right? But the unstated implication here is that but that energy is not just going into the void. There you can get loans in new crypto platforms. You got MakerDAO. Wise is going to be rolling out a collateral lending platform. I mean, there's various ways of lending, staking, borrowing in the crypto ecosystem. So to suggest that interest rates are going to go up because this money is just gone or is not available to the bank, it's like, well, yeah, maybe their interest rates are going to go up. Maybe their access to liquidity is going to go up. Maybe that is going to be financial disintermediation on that level, but it's not in the whole system, because you got a whole new emerging market happening on the other end. So it's if anything, it's just it's an evolution in the distribution of credit and who is lending, who's borrowing, and where the power is really at, I guess, is another way to see it. You got anything to add?
No, that's
that broader comment.
No, I like that. Yeah. I don't know if Devin has anything to add on that, on the CBDCs.
Very succinct.
Cool.
There was something else we were gonna.
There was another article that kind of touches on similar issues, but do you want to talk about the hack and Bitcoin and dark side?
Yes,
that's interesting too.
Yes, I do. Okay, so that's what I was looking at next, actually. So this is a cool article Ryan just found. Oh, and actually, before we get into this real quick, I don't think we did this topic justice. And Jacob just came on. Awesome.
Hey, Jacob.
Welcome, Jacob, as he jumps on. I'm going to go real quick before we hit this article up.
Okay, there we go.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, buddy.
Sure.
Good to see you. Hey, I'm going to go back real quick to the market cap. And I want to address this real quick. Because you guys have been around crypto for a while. And it's like, I don't even think about it because this is nothing. If you've been in crypto, this is nothing. If you're new to crypto, you may be freaking out right now, thinking this is the end of crypto, and oh man. And if you've been around crypto right now, you're like, oh man, this is a good time to buy the dip.
Yep.
Like straight up right now, if you're sitting on the sidelines and you thought that all these cryptos were looking good 1 or 2 weeks ago, well, they're looking better today. And and of course, it's just our perspectives, no financial advice, just educational information. That being said, I would dollar cost average and put a chunk in today and see where it's at a week or two from now, because if it dips a little bit lower, then scoop some up. But in cryptocurrency, we call this opportunities, because these are markets. We're talking about emerging ecosystems that are years in the making. I chuckle if you're looking at this and you're freaking out at this
right.
dip. It's like, oh, this is not a dip, my friend. This is not a dip. It can go from 60,000 to 20,000, and it's not a dip. I mean, no, that's a dip. That would be a dip.
Yeah.
That would be a dip. But I would still say, but that's a dip. Like, even if it went from 60,000 to as shocking, as gnarly as that would be, and that would hurt.
Well, you have to be ready for that.
You got to be ready. But the reality is that that's crypto, because what would it be dipping to? It would be dipping to the ultimate high that it was in 2017 that it crashed from at $20,000. So if that became...
If your crash is at an all-time high,
if your
the last all-time high...
Yeah, if your crash is the last all-time high and everyone's freaking out thinking, oh no, and they're dumping and they're thinking, oh man, and it's going to happen what happened before, whether it takes a few months or a year or ish, what's going to happen is people are going to be buying up, scooping it, Chainlink, the Graph, Wise Token, BNB. They're going to be doing their work. Their teams are still working. The developers are still doing their thing.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. And the old legacy institutions are still not ever going to be able to compete with this new technology. So as more people learn about it and more generational wealth transfers in to this new technology, my feeling is that, and I always like to look at the black swan, or the worst case scenario I could think of. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. But the reality is, I can't foresee, unless it's a worldwide just economic. Everyone, we're all impoverished, so it doesn't matter anyway. Whatever.
Right.
But beyond something like that, I can't see a bear market lasting as long as it did from 2017. There's way too much institutional support, interest. The market's too mature. It's grown too much now. It's like it's no longer a seedling. Now, it's a sapling, or, it's already going into its first season of bearing fruit. So it may go dormant for a period of time, but it will definitely be a lot shorter than before.
Right. I think the difference is that in that last big crash, and then we had that crypto winter, as I like to call it, there was a sense that this whole thing could be dead, that we might have just lived through a tulip mania style irrational exuberance where these things that are trinkets all of a sudden shot up in value, and like Beanie Babies, and then people went wild, and then it just collapsed and it was never to come back. There was a sense that could be what was in store for us, right? And I don't think that sense really exists anymore with the DeFi ecosystem and with just everything that's all the development and interoperability, the second layers, everything that's happening. If this is we're seeing the emergence of a new ecosystem it's not a fad. And I think that's the difference. That question has been answered, whereas it hadn't been in the last time. Not, at least not for me. I was, I still questioned whether or not this would be here, in 2020 or 2021 or whatever.
Or how much of it, or
what it would be.
One thing I never foresaw was Uniswap and decentralized exchanges. That was the one thing I never could have foreseen. Right. So I was like, Bitcoin will still be around. Yeah. A few of these will be around. But I kind of, life got to me, and I came in a little bit late a year ago, and I didn't see Uniswap in its early beginnings. But once I understood what it was, built on Ethereum, I was like, okay, now these smart contracts are mature, and now they're functioning and providing services that people now can interact and add value. And then, of course, we all saw what Uniswap led to, the advent of decentralized exchanges all over cryptocurrency in the blockchain. Still the largest, and Wise Token having the largest amount of locked liquidity of its kind on that exchange, is still growing. Like, for me, DeFi and cryptocurrency, this is a good time. This is a good time. Even if you're just learning about it, it's a good time. This is absolutely the beginning of these markets. In fact, I was just talking to someone about NFTs. I'll save that for later. But if you guys are interested in some NFT conversation after the stream, I've got a possible opportunity to share with you and talk to you about, and then I'll share it with everyone. It's not some secret thing, but it's still so young, it's not even worth talking about now. But let's go back and bada bing, bada boom, the hack, and then let Jacob tell us about some top secret information that he pulled for us.
I want to hear that. Anybody? I'm sure we've all heard about the hack, right? The ransomware hack on the pipeline. And what I thought was interesting was that their wallet, their Bitcoin wallet, was seized. and it was all for naught. They've disbanded, their hacker collective is disbanded, and come to find out, Bitcoin is not the choice for criminals after all.
Why would it ever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you guys. I don't believe this stuff is real. I'm gonna tell you, I think it's all fabricated news by state elements, whoever they are. I don't even know, because look, come on, time out. We believe to be based in Russia. Like, how can you be that? Can you be that? Can you be that dumb if you're a hacker? Like, I mean, like, really, you're a hacker and you're demanding a company pay you in a cryptocurrency and you don't even ask for Monero? Like, you're not like, I want, Zcash and use the anonymous transaction feature,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like, you literally just say, give it to me in Bitcoin and make sure that you send me the transaction ID so I can track it on the public ledger.
Well, send it to my Coinbase account.
Send it to my
script
like,
kitty.
like I just what a coincidence. Here's my point. What a coincidence that these idiot hackers that know enough about computers to shut down a pipeline literally can shut. I can't even. So I can't get into some of my own cryptos in the past, man. I'm like, God, man, I wish a hacker could help me get into this wallet.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that there's some people hack a pipeline. They're like, we've been able to shut it down. Now demand Bitcoin, and they happen to be in Russia. It's just, here we go with this Cold War, Russia, U.S. narrative. The Bitcoin mined in China. It's like, oh, come on now, you guys, come on, easy. Bitcoins they're not NFTs here.
Oh, right, they're fungible.
Bitcoin can be mined anywhere, and we should support. By the way, if you are tuning in to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, whatever language you speak, whatever color of your skin, whatever religion you are, we support you. So wherever you're mining, congratulations. Whether you're in China, Korea, Africa, South America, somewhere in North America, Europe, I don't care where you are. If you're trying to support this network, hey, congratulations for being a part of it and helping people with their transactions. Sure. Like, what is this whole kind of racist, like, well, I don't want Bitcoin if it's mined over there? It's like, well,
it's like the Buy American mentality is infecting Bitcoin.
Yeah, I've heard people call it blood Bitcoin.
Yeah, blood coins.
It's like, have you ever heard of
blood coins?
What's funny about that is fiat dollars, which China and other countries have been forced to use to purchase oil as the world reserve currency for years, fiat dollars. And I know because when I was in the Marine Corps Infantry taking people out of their homes, they were paying me in fiat currency. They weren't paying me in BTC, right? So I know that fiat currency tends to support.
Well, I'd say that's another example of selective outrage. Remember the energy thing we were talking about? Well, this is another example. It's like, oh, so you're outraged at the blood.
The blood
that's involved in mining
on mining Bitcoin, when it's like there's been bombs dropped in homes and people's lives just devastated off of just people being able to print money on a printing press and say, hey, we're just going to print $1 trillion and fund a war. It's like, that wouldn't have been able to be done. People would have had to have levied taxes and say, hey, do you hate these people enough to
give half your income to kill them?
To give half of your income to kill them? And people are like, nah, I'd rather just...
I don't like them, but I don't hate them that bad.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, but...
so it's selective outrage.
Selective outrage. Dark side hackers, Bitcoin stash, tracked. Well, I'm glad that they were able to track the bad guys. That's good. That's good. Shows that we really probably didn't even need a bunch of sleuths, considering it is a public ledger.
Public ledger, yeah.
I'll do it for $10.
It could be one of those instances of really smart people who are so zoomed in on one aspect of reality and they just are dumb about everything else. You've seen that, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Is like, if there were script kiddies, it would make sense, because like it's something that I'm trying to do is like learn code for development, and like it's really easy to think you know something and then find out like there's a whole other world you don't even know about.
Mm-hmm. Been there. Happens in economics all the time. I thought I had that figured out. Come to find out, nope. No, yeah, that's for sure. And it's humbling too, because you're like, wow, okay, so if I don't know that, then just imagine all the other things I have no idea about.
Even things that like people just haven't stumbled upon. Like I thought I knew a lot about crypto the last bull run when I was mining Ethereum and like doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
And, it like you zoom out, I didn't even know what DeFi was. DeFi wasn't even a thing then.
Right.
And now we look at DeFi and it's like, oh my God, there's so much I just still don't know, you know?
Sure, yeah, I feel the same way. Every day I'm trying to research and learn a little bit more and add to my knowledge, and it's great. It's fun. It's a fun journey.
Well, shucks, while you mention it, and Jacob, you had some cryptos that you had done some research. So if you're new to crypto, or if you're learning about DeFi, obviously one of the top projects in DeFi and cryptocurrency is Aave, built on the Ethereum network. And here we go. So Aave is doing lending and borrowing. They're one of the first protocols that you can interact with, and you can provide liquidity, and you can borrow at an interest rate. And of course, they have stable coins, which is like dollars. So what we were talking about earlier, you could literally take your dollars out of the banking system and into stable coins and get better interest rates than what anyone in the banking system. So a loan for people who have large amounts of wealth, and they're like, well, shucks, I don't even want to take a risk. Yeah. You can literally, without the risk of Ethereum or Bitcoin or the volatility of this, token, you literally could lock up a bunch of stable coins at an interest rate and just, there you go, bada bing, bada boom. But you look at exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum and Binance, the Binance US dollar, Uniswap, and others as well. So Chainlink, we were just talking about earlier. And this is what I love about Wise. Wise is about to be up in this. Wise is about to be up in this ecosystem too, because that's what's about to happen. What's about to happen I think before the year's over, there's gonna be a lot more videos about how dynamic Wise. It's ridiculous when it comes to smart contracts. How dynamic Wise is. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's worthy. It's absolutely worthy of ridicule. It's worthy of ridicule.
There you go.
How they can have done so much in a short time. It's beautiful though, because that's what cryptocurrency, and that's what this is all about. It's all about who can build protocols that support different communities and build communities together. Build bridges. Absolutely. So this is Aave, and if you didn't know what it does, you take your MetaMask wallet, the same one that you do to stake your Wise token, and you interact with the Ethereum network, and you can go over to the aave.com and you can play around and deposit, borrow, and see what they have on their network. And look what they have. I mean, this is pretty soon. I would be surprised. Wise, as it gets mature, is going to have to just be another token offered on different sites, because it'll just be available through Uniswap as the most decentralized crypto. But so where was I going to go with this? Oh, the market.
Oh, market wrap up.
Well, I was just saying, if people are like, oh, what's going on? What's doing well throughout this market dip? Well, Aave right here in Polygon. But Aave is a borrowing lending solution, and it's done phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And why? Because when people are locking up in Aave, just like in Wise token stakes, or just like when borrowing lending comes in, they're putting tokens in for periods of time. Yeah. So when these dips happen, when sell-offs happen, you're having these other protocols with locked liquidity where you don't have to worry about these massive dumps, and it's very.
That's actually a good way to respond. Whenever you see things dumping, you should head to make some stakes. That's the time to make your stakes.
Yeah.
So you don't get that's an opportunity. Run against the
right, your APY if it's going to rebound at all. Mm-hmm. It's just like buying the dip, I guess. But your APY goes from 10% to it went up to 15% APY technically, right?
Right. Exactly.
Jacob, you were saying something about a spurt in crypto that you found out that you want to share. I want to hear, brother. I want to hear.
Oh, I'm so excited about this one. I love cryptos with use cases. I love something that has a service or product in mind that is going to change an ecosystem. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the cloud, like Microsoft, Azure, things like that.
I'm familiar.
Pretty familiar? Moderately familiar. Yeah.
I remember back in the day when I first was getting into crypto back in 2017, I was looking at Sia Coin and which was supposed to be a decentralized data storage competing, because there's been different ones that have been talking about offering decentralized data storage to compete with cloud services on the blockchain. However, how many of them are mature and developed and create a product that's working? It's like there's still that battle of first come first serve. So what you got?
Exactly.
What you got?
So one of the things I have plans to actually be a marketplace where you can utilize any resources. So I'm talking your GPU, your CPU, your storage, anything that you want, you can utilize their services and leverage it on their blockchain. So you can add all of that cloud computational resources that you have, like let's say in your computer lying over there.
What's the name? I'll go to the site.
AKT.
Okay, keep going, brother. Pardon.
And so what the Akash network is essentially trying to do is they're trying to compete and take a portion of the market share from Amazon Web Services, from Microsoft Azure, from all the big popular cloud services by offering those same services at a fraction of the cost.
Very cool.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this the modern Akashic records that everyone's talking about? Are these the Akashic records on the blockchain? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not familiar.
I'm just joking.
that
I'm just
a Hebrew
joking.
thing?
Hashtag Akashic Records for all you occultists out there. But no,
okay.
the Akashic Network is it's maybe something different. Okay. No. Okay, let's check it out.
But that might be where the name comes from.
I think maybe so, because I think the Akashic records were, they referred to like the ancient records of all of time and everything going on. And the Akashic network is supposed to be being a network that holds information and stores for everyone together. So this could be like an homage to the Akashic records. Maybe that's what Akashic network is.
Okay.
The unstoppable cloud,
I like that.
In the age of Aquarius, it's good to be a cloud. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Be like a cloud. All right. So here we are. And if you were driving, I'd have you drive, but I'm just going to scroll down and let people kind of take a look at it.
Yeah.
So I like that censorship resistant, permissionless. So not permissionless, but less permission than others. Right? Permissionless. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of cute.
The dash, yeah.
Self-sovereign. Akash D-Cloud is a faster, more efficient, lower cost cloud built for DeFi. So up to 10x lower in cost. Our serverless computing platform is compatible with all cloud providers and all applications that run on the cloud. That's cool. So it's interoperable.
That's what I'm saying.
It's cool. Interoperable with other cloud servers. Wow.
Hybrid. What's the hybrid?
Something
physical
I
servers.
really enjoy about the platform that they built on is I love Wise for being ahead of the curve, because what they were trying to do is what Wise is doing, which is feeding back into the token ecosystem. But they only feed back 20% of the money that they generate. Whereas Wise token, on the other hand, gives back 100% of all profits back to the token holders.
Nice. Yeah, so this is 20%?
This is 20%, so it's still a good amount.
Better than zero.
Yep, but it isn't zero. And what other tokens do you know that are doing that, have a use case, and are providing that value? Not many,
Right, it's a small list.
Oh yeah.
How much? This is $4 and something, right? Is that the price?
$4 and something cents.
Okay.
I think.
So it's still early. What's the market cap? Below.
Yep, 458. The market cap.
269 million. Okay.
Something else that I enjoy, because I read over their white paper extensively, which is what made me bullish on it.
Chart looks good.
Was that they're actually a proof of stake chain, much like Matic, and the delegation process works very, very similarly. So I decided to delegate a small portion of coins, and I'm just going to see where it goes,
Yeah.
I love it that you're experiment. That's I do the same thing with different cryptos and staking and working their platforms. That's why I tell people, if you want to be involved and learn crypto, whatever amount it is that you can put in at a time and come in and learn with, that's the best way to get involved. Just have a little piece. Just try a little bit. Hold on to it. Hodl it. And have a wallet and check it out. So the fact that you're getting in there and you're especially your helium miners, which we talked about last time, which is freaking cool.
They have a little piece of hardware too, the Super Mini.
Yeah,
that looks kind of
it looks super cool, but essentially it's no different than just using your normal computer to allocate resources. To be honest,
okay.
This is just a project that they put on the back burner. They are going to be putting them out, and I was able to talk to one of the devs about it and ask a couple questions through the Discord. They don't have a plan on this being like their main focus for their blockchain, but this is just something kind of fun that they can do. And personally, I'm thinking about getting one, but at the same time, it's like I could just also use my computer I have now, you know?
Right. That's
any resources you could use, really.
Yeah, I'm sometimes hesitant to buy more crypto hardware, thinking that that's money that could just go into the coin or the token.
Unless that's how I feel too, except for in rare cases like helium.
Yeah, right.
Where they are actually like providing an actual lower WAN service to the area with that miner, and your engagement is actually supporting that network and earning directly. It's actually made to support the miners in that capacity. So
I need to go through this paper. This looks very interesting.
Yeah, it's a very interesting project. It's something that I got kind of turned on to. Just I was scrolling through YouTube, happened to find a couple of videos. I found one where it was a breakdown with their CEO, and he explains how, because he actually worked, I can't remember if it was with Google services or Amazon services, but he helped build a lot of what made the cloud possible today, which is really cool when you get to talk to someone with that technical background.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's huge.
That's like any time I get to talk with like Renee, it just feels so like humbling, you know, because he's just got so much information.
Yeah. I always enjoy talking to him too.
Oh yeah.
And he gets into his.
We need to get him back on a stream too.
He gets into the physics and his little side interest, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta follow this.
I gotta step back.
He always has such good energy. Renee is always has good energy and insights, so it's always fun to have him on. But I know he's been busy too, man. Hopefully he'll take a break and tell us what is going on.
On that topic, I do have to head out, guys.
Okay, I was just about to say, before you take off, is there anything else you want to share about what's going on with Wise, or the next thing on the roadmap, or what?
We got a lot. The next thing I think that is probably happening this week is we're going to have a little doing the whole website. It's coming out probably next, I don't want to say next week, but the week after. But before that, we'll have a UI built out where you can see exactly how much of the airdrop you're going to get if you participate in the pre-sale.
Cool.
And then if not, how much of the airdrops you're going to get for weekly. So that'll be there. Airdrop coming. Obviously, the 26th of May, you have that 10% cut off of the interest earning power. If you stake before that, it's just a bonus. And then June 11th is when that first big airdrop is, and then every week after that. So, and then a lot of other big stuff coming. So.
Awesome.
Man, thank you so much, Devin. I look forward to catching up with you soon. And I'm not joking. I'm going to find my way to Colorado and come hang out, brother.
Yeah.
And I'll say to all those people who follow Wise Token and follow them on Twitter and check out their pages, because they got a lot going on. They're less than a year old, and if you got in on them when they first hit Uniswap, 16 cents. Now, even the bear market, they're at 62 cents. Yeah. I mean, what are we talking about? 4x, pretty much in a bear market, right? Yeah. I mean, not a bear market, but during a correction right now.
Yeah.
So, good work, brother. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming in and bringing your vibes. And
yeah, of course. Thank you guys for the vibes as well. And Jacob, thanks for great knowledge as always. This is a great project, man. Check it out.
Cool.
Thank you.
So,
adios, brother.
Take care.
Later.
So yeah, man, good find, Jacob. I think I've heard of Akash before, but I haven't looked at it. I did not look at it, and so I will definitely take a look at this. I like when you find people that have that pedigree and that background where they know you can they know what they're talking about, and obviously they're looking for an when you have that kind of an eye, you can see a problem that needs a solution, Obviously, they can see a hole that needs to be filled, so to speak. So here we go. What about this? I mean, let's talk about. We'll go to the top of that.
Okay, yeah, this was the article that was talking about how was a regulator? Who was this person talking? There was some sort of an expert says that it might not be such a great idea for the United States to be eager to compete with China in rolling out their own central bank digital currency. Let me see who is making. Okay, yeah, chief strategy of global policy at Circle. So it's an economist of some sort, right? The whole thing here is that there's a lot of talk saying, hey, China's moving forward. They're going to have their CBDC out before U.S. They're going to be the first mover, and we can't let China beat us to the moon, essentially, or beat it. We don't want to let them beat us. Is the narrative? And this guy is saying, well, wait a minute. In reality, the United States is out front because we're home to we're part of where all this innovation is occurring. The DeFi world, the whole crypto space. It's not like it's just based in China, and the idea here is that it's better to have competition amongst the whole ecosystem of projects than to have one is going to rule them all, or one government monopolized entity that's essentially creating a digital fiat token, right? Is that we don't need to be so eager to recreate a digital dollar, and that's not winning any kind of great race. And that in reality, we're winning a far better race, or in general, the United States or the West is winning a far better race, which is just to create an ecosystem of decentralized finance and money and digital currency.
Embrace the DeFi.
Embrace the DeFi. Embrace the market for currencies, instead of just looking to have a single money, a single digital dollar that's like the heir of the single paper dollar. Why is that the goal? That's kind of this article, and I was shocked. I was kind of taken aback because I expected the narrative not to be that, because you don't hear very many people in positions of authority or power in the financial system talking about the desirability of choice in currency. It's all typically the narrative is, well, you have to have money. Government's got to control the money. You have to have a single unit of exchange to handle taxes and to get around issues with lending and borrowing and deposits and interest rates and all. It's always through this lens of, well, there has to just be one money. People. And so this is really kind of, it's interesting to see a recognition that, no, you don't need to have a single kind of money, that it's okay to have, and it might even be better to have like a choice, a basket of currencies to choose from.
This is a solid article. I agree with everything you just said. That was a home run.
Cool.
And this is a good article. Yeah, you don't normally find those kinds of arguments or perspectives. So, I mean, definitely an open market approach to cryptocurrency. A free market-based movement is afoot, driving fundamental, open, and compliant innovations in the movement of money and value on the internet. This digital currency and blockchain economy is building the next generation of digital financial services firms in the U.S. and around the world, creating thousands of jobs and an outsized share of market value. That the majority of asset reference stablecoins in circulation today are pegged to the US dollar speaks to how the fundamental trust in the US dollar as the global reserve currency of choice is being preserved by digital currencies, not circumvented by them. That's
a
huge.
Big point. That's a big point.
It just said, hey, by using US dollars as the stable coin of choice for all these protocols, we're actually creating a new reserve currency.
Or at least not challenging the dollar.
Well, yeah, but it's in a sense, it's creating kind of a reserve currency among crypto assets. So,
right.
So the US dollar,
denominated in dollars.
The US dollar kind of doesn't have to do anything. They're better off.
We kind of have a digital. We already have a digital dollar. It's called crypto.
It's called crypto. So,
but don't look to make it collapse into just one that the government controls. That's not winning. That's what this is about. That's not winning anything.
Not for them, especially because then you talk about inflation or weird problems. Now they can do their printing and let all the different digital crypto pegs
adjust accordingly.
Accordingly.
Right.
So that's cool. And also, speaking of cool, so we talked about Tesla, the dark side hackers, the energy of the banking
Yep.
system. Oh my God.
That was an interesting one.
God, that's just, that argument is just so not, it's so
It
ignorant.
hurts
It's so ignorant. It's like,
me
I don't even know where to
so
begin.
much.
It's so wrong. It's just wrong. And then,
Well, I'm looking forward to inverting the narrative. Next time
Yeah.
someone tells me that Bitcoin is energy it uses a lot of energy, I'm gonna say it's actually the green solution. You just don't have you just haven't looked.
yeah, cryptocurrency is the green solution. Y'all didn't know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to waste all that energy printing a fiat currency just to throw it away. You know what I mean?
And those tanks don't run on sunshine.
No.
Those tanks don't run on sunshine.
It takes
No, they
lots
don't.
of money to fuel those.
No, they don't. And I'll tell you what, when you stand close enough to a tank and the main tank round goes off, you will actually see the dust vibrate off of your buddy in front of you. And it is the dangest thing I've ever seen in my life.
With the halo effect.
Like a halo.
Yeah.
It just looks like this slow motion dust cloud just pops off of someone. And when you don't expect it, you're going to stand there laughing like Beavis and Butthead for a second because you don't know what just happened.
And you can't hear.
So I've read. But anyway, Vitalik Buterin burned $6 billion in SHIB tokens. And he says he doesn't want the power. Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like Vitalik.
That's great. And also, it shows that he's got a lot more important things to do than for someone to say, hey, boom, we've created some quick crypto wealth and now put your name on it. Because that's a lot of responsibility for him to have to deal with that and for this new token to see how ethical and how it's going to turn out.
He's kind of like the opposite of Elon. He's doing everybody a solid. And Elon's going out not.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like him donating that portion of SHIB to
India, right?
India, and then also burning the other portion, that's only helping out their ecosystem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's only a positive.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's totally a gift. He's like, here's some value to bring the world by creating relief. So the value that grows with SHIB will provide more support to this foundation, this fund, and the rest of it. Let me just help support the value of that donation by burning it and
make it more valuable.
Mm-hmm. So bada bing, bada boom, and two fell swoops. He legitimizes what can be done on smart contracts on Ethereum and supports SHIB and removes the power element. So Vitalik Buterin, well done, brother. Good job. Another solid. Thank you very much.
He just threw the ring into the.
He threw the ring
fire.
into the fire. He made it through and threw the ring into the fire. Dang, that's hardcore.
He did.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah. All right.
So I can see that he's got the inner fortitude, is what I'm saying.
That Frodo.
Yeah,
He
no,
channeled his inner Frodo.
not his inner Frodo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not the outer.
Not the outer.
Okay. What else? Do you want to do a quick recap on the markets? See what everything's doing before we peace out? 'Cause I think we hit our 7.
I think we did. I think we can do a quick market recap.
Everything's holding steady.
And things are doing well. They are doing their crypto correction. And okay. So I will say this: if you want some actual information about the crypto correction, let me see if I can refresh this.
Check that out.
So I did hear some talk earlier, some talk among the talk. So as the markets are correcting, going down a bit, institutional money is pouring in and still buying it. So
heard that.
As you know, when you see the whales, when you see the whales coming in and making large purchases at these prices, I agree. Man, BitBoy's always he puts so much information out there. I mean, the guy's going to be he's already a cryptocurrency rock star. But look, how long do you think you'll be able to buy Bitcoin under 50,000? Really?
I'd say maybe a month, the longest, but probably more like a couple of weeks.
Really? Exactly. That's
my hunch.
That's where I stand. And the same with all these others, because once crypto starts growing again and the correction takes place, there you go.
Well, where else are you going to put your money? That's the question.
Stable coins.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah.
On Aave.
On Aave, yeah, right.
Just kidding.
That's
Wise
fair.
Token, BNB, or Harmony
But
One.
you're not putting it into like what Tesla or Apple.
Gosh.
That world.
Robinhood.
Or Robinhood, yeah.
I shouldn't call it Robinhood.
Well, it's aptly named. Oh no! Remember we said
They put a G in there. It shouldn't be Robin Hood. It should be Robbing Hood.
or Locks. Or what was Sheriff of Nottingham or something. Yeah, that'd be a better name.
That's what they should change their name to. So hey Jacob, thank you very much for coming up. Probably if you got time next week, see what research you come up with, because we'll be doing it at the same bat channel, same bat time.
Yep.
Next Monday from 6 to 7. And I love your shirt. I love your sweater. Did you get that from Cam? Did you get that?
I don't think I got this from Cam. I got this from the links in the Discord, I think.
Okay. I forgot who was it that had a bunch of merchandise that they were putting out there from the beginning. So I should get some and hand them out as
I need
gifts.
to get a shirt.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh yeah,
that'd be good. Christmas and July gifts. We got solstice coming up. Hey, thanks for coming on, brother. Last minute. It's always a pleasure to have you on talking the crypto talk. And as we know, how whether this correction lasts a few days, a few weeks, whatever it is, that is what it is. A little correction, and this is the time for you to learn about the different cryptocurrencies out there. This is the time to get involved. Crypto is absolutely the beginning. Pardon me. And thank you for smashing the like button and joining. And if you have a question or a comment, drop in the comments and we'll look into it and talk it on the next stream. Until then, I say have a beautiful day and namaste. And I'm going to let Ryan take it out. If you have any last comments, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for joining us. Don't get scared. This is just how crypto is, And we'll catch up next week. And thank you. Adios.
Bam, y'all.
Cool.
Sweet.